Hey everybody, this is Rudy Carl Alexander. I am talking about the episode 12 where we're going to talk about O.J. Simpson. Uh, his ex-wife, as far as I know, and I was told when I was growing up, is related to us. So he was related to my family by his marriage to his previous wife. So I know my family's from California. I was born in Los Angeles. He was born and raised in San Francisco, but that's as far as close as I know. Now, the question was, did he do it? To me, there's no question that he did it. However, the points made on Facebook were they planted evidence against him. Mark Furman definitely planted evidence against them. The LAPD definitely did things trying to make sure that they got him. My point is, just because they planted evidence did not say he did not do it. Two things can be true. They planted evidence and he did it. Now, I'm gonna read this very quickly, the circumstances of some of the information. Of course, they found so much blood droppings. They found blood droppings in his car from his ex-wife. In his Bronco, they found blood droppings. They found hair evidence. They found hair evidence. They found fibers. They found blood on the socks. Nicole's blood on the socks that were in his residence. Now, you may say, but if part of the evidence was manufactured and planted, then that throws out everything. No, it doesn't. Now, I'm not talking about the legal, he was found not guilty in a court of law. So technically, he was not guilty. How many white men were found not guilty for killing black people all throughout slavery and Jim Crow times? How many white men were found not guilty? But clearly, we knew that they had killed black people. Same thing in this instance. He was found not guilty, but he was guilty. Other evidence. You look at the history of how many times this man threatened her. Okay, that in and of itself doesn't mean that he killed her. No, it doesn't necessarily mean that. But ladies and gentlemen, I think as black people, we got to get away from trying to manufacture what's not true to justify what we're trying to say, and we're trying to throw hatred on a people. Hey, there's enough that white folks have done. I mean, you recount the history. They have done everything to black people. They took our land, they took our soul, they've done everything to black people. But we still got to be honest with ourselves about what we do ourselves. Now, maybe we just discuss it with ourselves. We discuss it with ourselves. We don't have to admit it to them. But in this instance, this particular person did this act. Now, I want to go into why he ended up in this situation, because if you look at his history, he was a very controlling person by all accounts. And he met her, he was 36, she was 18. she was a little girl a little girl so infatuated with this football player. But then she started growing out of that, which normally happens, and he wasn't all American anymore. Now, one person, my brother Silas, said, now, how can one man kill two people? Silas, I was a single father. And hey, I had to go to the grocery store. I had one baby in my hand, one in the carriage, one on side of me, and the one on side of me did something wrong. I had to whoop him, still hold my baby in my arms, and still manage the carriage all at the same time. Come on, man. One man can kill two people. And it wasn't at the same second, from what I understand. Now, this is how I understand, according to those people who have really looked into this. He came to the door. He was hollering and screaming. She came to the door with a knife. He took the knife from her and slashed her. She was incapacitated. At that time, Ron Goldman walked up from the outside, and he went at him and incapacitated him. And he saw he had done work to two people who were dead or just about dying, and he finished it off and then tried to get away. It wasn't premeditated. It was in the heat of the moment. He was upset. But from every available evidence, he did it. Was he found guilty? No, that is not my point. How many white men have been found not guilty, and we know they killed the black man, but the jury said they're not gonna do no time? Please, guys, I'm not saying they didn't try to incorporate evidence against him. They tried everything in that context, but they were so overzealous that they messed up. And that's why he was found not guilty, because they did so much wrong that, the jury said, hey, no, y'all didn't prove that. And then we see that y'all did so much to try to get this man, find him guilty. But my point is, did he do it? Did he do it? Look at all the available evidence. They proved he was there. They found blood evidence of the lady in his possessions, in his area. They found all of that. Yes, Mark Furman did plant a bloody glove. Okay, and they did other things too. Okay, but he still did it. Now, I can't just say that this brother was well, let's just say this. From what I understand, he didn't have a great love for black people. Even though his first wife was black, his kids are black, he had a great love for white people. Why was he so crazy about Nicole? And they had 62 or more documented cases of abuse of that. Why was he even trying to hang with this young white girl? Why was it so important to him? OJ could have had so many different people. That's what a mistake a lot of these black men make. Bill Cosby, trying to sleep with all the white girls. Jonathan Majors, of course. That road is not a road that's going to win you favor, in my opinion. So I'm just saying, Silas, he could have killed two people. Yes, he could have killed two people. Is capable. This is an athlete, strong, quick, everything else. Even at the age he was, I think it was 46 that he was at the time. Yes, he could have. Not that unforeseen. Uh, my brother, yes, they tried to plant evidence on him. That does not take away from the fact that he did it. The system is corrupt, has been corrupt, but occasionally there is truth. Occasionally, uh, there's so many contradictions of things in the Bible, but there's truth there also. There is truth in the judicial system at times. It's the only system that we have. And we can't say everything is bad, then we can't find any good when there's time to find good. What other system do we have? If we don't have any um, hope in our system, then we have no hope in life. Now, I just say that. But let me say that I hope I've proven or I've at least expanded on these points. This is Hip Hop College Source, our 12th episode. And I'm talking about O.J. Simpson. Now, he was a super great football player. Super great. He was a hurt spokesman. He was an actor. He did a whole lot of things. And, he was the life of the party, and that changed. But he did a lot to cause it to change. Bill Cosby, look at Bill Cosby. He was on the top of the world, but he did a lot to cause that reputation to change. So I like to look at people who maintain their integrity. Denzel Washington, uh, Samuel L. Jackson today. These people have maintained their integrity. Across Barack Obama has maintained his integrity. OJ integrity was very, very shaky in the Black community. But even with that, I'm not saying, that makes him a bad person. But what he did was he did commit that murder. He committed 2 murders out of jealousy, out of envy, and to put himself in that position of jealousy, envy, and spite, and just to put himself in that position, he was losing his integrity every day that he was being so caught up into that situation. He should have just said, well, let me find somebody else. Let me not worry about trying to control this particular person. Let me find somebody else, which would have been easy for OJ, not easy for you and me. But okay, I'm going to try to see what the responses are to this. Let's see if we have any responses. I certainly had a whole lot of people. And my brother who's on Facebook talking with me, you have your opinion, I have mine. The only thing I say is, I continue to say, just because he had people that were planting evidence and trying to get him doesn't say he didn't do it. Does not say that. And that's my main point in this situation. So I'm looking at my Facebook of the site, Sunny Phi Side. Well, I don't see any comments. I don't see any comments at this time. But okay. So that's my standpoint. And let me know if y'all want to continue this conversation. We can. I have no problem with it. I'll continue. But my point is not going to change. And if you need me to write a dissertation on why OJ was guilty, I'll do that. No problem. But I wanted to share. People said that, he didn't do it. I mean, I got to deal with the truth. All of available evidence as well as perceptions, circumstantial and circumstances says that he did. That's my final point. This is Hip Hop College Source. I'm your brother, Baruti Carl Alexander. Peace and power.